Proposals at the Unicam keep coming back even after failing several times to gain enough support.
One such idea involves changing the state's motorcycle helmet law. Tonight, 6 News' Marlo Lundak find out why the senator advocating for change this year thinks it'll be different this time around.
The people who ride the motorcycles want this. They want the choice.
Every few years since the 80s, Nebraska lawmakers have introduced a bill that would make helmets for motorcycle riders optional. And every few years, the same arguments echo through the halls of the state capitol.
What I want to point out is that a freedom has been lost and a right is being denied. Freedom is a precious commodity that once lost is nearly impossible to regain.
I think the biggest difference between those wearing one and those not wearing one is the traumatic brain injury.
If it passes, those who are 21 and have taken a basic motorcycle training course can forego their helmet when riding. Senator Ben Hansen says despite failing to gain traction all those years, he thinks this is the year they have the votes to make it happen.
There's a lot of fresh eyes and fresh ears hearing this for the first time. So they're open-minded, the logical brain can kind of take over a little bit and the emotion as well, but people can kind of think about this logically.
Healthcare professionals like Dr. Bauman, director of UNMC's trauma team, say it's too dangerous.
I think that if people lived in my world, just for a month or so and they saw, what we see, they might have a very different perspective.
Bauman says without a helmet, the risk of more devastating and long-lasting injuries is higher. But Senator Hansen and proponents say it's about choice and freedom.
I can testify on how uncomfortable wearing a helmet is, restrictions to hearing, vision, and the amount of fatigue. I can testify on how it is hurting our state economically, lost revenues, tax dollars. Our own citizens are riding out of state solely because of the current helmet law.
On your site in Omaha, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
The proposal has not yet made it out of committee. If it eventually passes, the new helmet law would still be more restrictive than those in several of the other states surrounding Nebraska.